Well, here I am in the junior primary building. We've come here out of the rain. We're going to be doing this outside, but unfortunately the weather's against us. And I'm here with Kate Snell, who's a wonderful Year 1 teacher. Been with us 2 or 3 years now?
3 years.
3 years.
Three and a half.
From Melbourne you came?
I did, yes.
Great. And back to South Australia. I get the impression that you were here before.
Yes, I was.
And we want to talk about numeracy and, in a moment, literacy. Critical pillars of a young person's education. Kate, we're doing some interesting things in the area of numeracy.
We are. So last year, Sebastian Lefebvre and I began implementing the maths assessment interview. And it isn't standardised, but it's research-based, and it is based on growth points. So the assessment is a one-on-one conversation with a student, and it moves from concrete understandings or explanations to partially abstract to then abstract.
And this helps the student own their numeracy better than just going through a dry methodology. The one-to-one aspect makes that a really personal encounter with
Absolutely.
the material.
And you can see what the children are doing. So in the counting activity, they essentially just have to count. So I want you to start counting at 1 until I say stop. Start at 83, keep counting until I say stop. Then they skip count, what's 1 more than 56, what's 1 less. And you know whether the children know it, because if they're fast and automatic, you know that they've got that understanding. At the end of most of the questions is, how did you know that? How did you work that out? So what we're looking for are efficient strategies and useful strategies for the children to be using.
Fantastic. Well, we need to move on to literacy, from numbers to words. But that's a great description, Kate. Thank you.
Thank you.
And you used to love maths at school, I have to say. Didn't used to love words, so let's see how we get on with Lauren Camens. So we moved from numeracy to literacy. Now, I got into literacy much later in my school career, and here, Lauren, born and bred in South Australia, you're going to tell us about what we're doing in our Year 2 classes right now.
Yeah, so over the last 18 months, the teachers have really initiated some change in the way that we teach our literacy and reading and spelling. We're looking at Scarborough's reading rope, decoding and comprehending being the 2 main parts of being a good reader. We're looking at how we assess that so that can inform our practice and know where the children are at. In Foundation and Year 1, they really hone in on the decoding, learning how to read and decode the words, and combining that as well with comprehending and words and vocabulary. So once the children have mastered decoding in Year 2, that's sort of generally where that happens. We can then let them be a bit more free in terms of what they're reading, what they're choosing, and with a big focus on being self-managers and thinking about the text that they're reading and how suitable it is for them to extend them.
Do we give any advice to parents when they read stories to their children?
I guess for parents, what they can do is listen to their children read, read to their children, and read with their children. So that will help them with decoding, vocab, and fluency and expression. And covers all those things.
And numeracy and literacy are 2 of the skills that our parents are really keen their students, children learn as key pillars of their future education. So there's a real role they can play, particularly with literacy, because we all love reading bedtime stories, bedtime stories to our children, and that's a big part of their parenting for me, certainly. There is a sense of one-to-one support in the numeracy area. How do you, is there a one-to-one dimension to this as well?
Absolutely, one-to-one and small group and whole class I think are all really important. So we spend time one-to-one with the children reading, with extra time for those that are still learning the decoding. Lots of small group work, so looking at words together, talking about what does it mean, how do you sound it out, what are the letters in the word, what do they rhyme with, all those kinds of things as well. And then whole groups instruction as well, really explicit choral reading so that we're working on fluency together. So they're all really important.
Great. So therefore it's been great to be in the junior primary building this morning. Despite the rain, it's a colourful, beautiful place to be, and some really critical foundation work being done by our great Year 2 and Year 1 teachers.